They're ravenous and unwelcome in Waitakere City. They're the possum family, and hard on their tail is Council Possum Buster Rod Smart. When he dropped down to Green Bay to scope out the population, we tagged along to look for signs of the vermin.
This is typical possum feeding. What the animal has done, he's held onto here with 3 claws. He's reached out with one arm, pulled the leaf towards him, and eaten all the leaf right back to the midrib of this leaf and that one. And as far as he can reach, he's eaten this piece and stretched right across and eaten that, and then let it go. And that's typically how possums eat. Sometimes you'll find the possum damage will be all the way down, and it'll be a midrib and a little bit of leaf around the base. This is a puri tree, and if you look very closely at the trunk, you can find minute little scratch marks, and this is the top side of the trunk, in other words the high side. And if you continue on around the trunk to the lower side of the trunk, notating how much bark is there, you'll see on the underside where the possums don't walk, there's lots of scaly pieces of bark, which indicates that this is the natural condition of the tree without possums climbing up and down it. Right, so that's a good indication as to whether possums have been going up a tree or not. Sometimes male possums will bite out a territory, and their bite marks will look a little bit like this on the trunk of a tree. And it's normally on the thin bark trees. You wouldn't find this on say a thick barked pine tree. But on the thinner bark ones, you can quite often see these bite marks. The home gardener can often find lemons, oranges, and sometimes grapefruit that are this size. They're actually hanging on the tree, but they've had all the skin removed, so that the lemon looks white. It's a naked lemon, it has no skin on it. Right? And they're normally pretty close to the ground. So a lemon that's drooping down the ground, that's about this far up off the ground, is sometimes had all the skin taken off. Those are possums. They'll stand up on the hindquarters and they'll let right round the lemon, taking all the skin off, and just leave it on the tree. And people come out afterwards in the morning and they're quite perplexed as to what has robbed or denuded their lemon. So in actual fact it's possums. Okay, this shrub here is karo. It's a native tree and it grows in the same habitat as pahurikawas. And people often mistake this tree here for pahurikawas. But you'll notice it's got a totally different flower, and it's got a different shaped leaf, but still similar, and it's got a downy side, a very soft, delicate leaf. Possums don't eat this tree, but a lot of people mistake the karo for the pahurikawa. For comparison, this over here is pahurikawa, and you'll see that the leaves are much thicker, they're stiffer, and even though they're actually downy looking on the underside, they're not very soft. The new buds, of course, are just like karo, nice and soft. And these are the buds that the possums like. These are epicormal shoots. They come out of the trunk, and they're normally associated with pahurikawa trees that are under stress. As you know, pahurikawas can feed through their leaves, and they also have aerial roots where they can feed through the roots. So if the canopy is taken off, or the leaves are taken off the top of the tree then reverts to the root system, and if it can't get sufficient nutrients through that, it then starts producing epicormal shoots out the side of the tree. This is one here. About November, December. That's when they really get into the pahurikawas. You'll see that there's dieback in the tips, or the possums have eaten all the leaves off the tips of the branches, the new growth of previous years, and this is what we would term about a 10% dieback. Here we go. There's possum damage there and there. This is a typical coastal pohutukawa forest. You can see we've got pohutukawas in here. We've also got flax, kiki, pampas grass, and these three plants make an ideal nesting site for possums. It's nice and dry during the winter, it's cool during the summer.